Thanks for listening to Across the Pool. Like and subscribe, or we'll show up at your fucking door and do damage.
You little weasel! Look at you, you little fucking weasel! I can see it in your eyes! You're a fucking bitch! Da-da-da-da-da! It's the motherfucking D-O-double-G! Surprise, surprise, motherfucker! The king is back!
Episode 6, Across the Pool, we're back. Again, like always, with my boy Paul. Haven't been back because there's not much shit to talk about, so we've let it build up. Now we got a few things to go over. In the last 3 weeks, I'd say, we've had, well, the main thing, one of the first things we're going to get into is Errol Spence coming back after a car crash against Danny Garcia for the title at 147 pounds in boxing. And Errol Spence did well, but not as well as I believed, and I think Paul believed he would have. He actually went all 12 rounds and was actually kind of competitive. Errol, if you're on a judging basis, picked up more of the rounds than Danny, but Danny was far more competitive than I believed he would be, and actually made it a dogfight later in the rounds, which I gotta give some respect to Danny Garcia because I thought he was gonna get smoked. What do you think about that, Paul?
We spoke about it before, didn't we? Spence got the job done. Could have done it a lot better, but got the job done. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
Everyone was worried about how he'd be after that crash, but that's alright, didn't he?
Oh, he still looked good.
No, I expect him to be.
Still looks like the best at 147 pounds.
Oh, they all want that Crawford fight, don't they?
Yeah.
I'd like to see it. I want to see it as well.
Yeah, just to find out. It has to happen before Crawford gets too old. He's like 35 now.
Yeah. But Spence, we've had a lot of criticism on Garcia.
Yeah.
On Danny, because he's not the greatest, is he?
Gatekeeper.
He's yeah. Well, when it's been time to step up, he's never really delivered, has he?
Yeah.
That's the thing with him.
While I was watching it live, I do have to. I started tipping my hat to the kid because through maybe the 5th or 6th round, it was Errol's complete fight in a very comfortable way. He was just jabbing, sticking the straight, and it looked like it was going to be like that all night. And then around the 6th, 7th, and 8th round, Danny decided that he wasn't going to make this completely comfortable ride for Errol and actually started scrapping, landing some decent shots and shit. So I had to tip my hat to him. It was a good performance by Danny Garcia against an elite guy.
Yeah, but for Errol's first fight back,
yeah,
that accident, people don't realise how lucky he was lucky to be alive after that accident.
For real? Have you seen the
majority
video?
of fighters? Yeah, I've seen the clips and everything. Yeah, I've seen it all.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The majority of the human race, not many people come back from that.
For real. True that. He got like ejected through the roof and shit. Slid across the pavement. It's crazy.
Yeah, he was in a bad way, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I've seen all of his like skin come off and everything. Horrible.
Yeah.
Rough life.
Yeah, it would have been, we talked about it before, how tragic it would have been if that was like, if he didn't come back the same, if we lost that talent, if we had lost that would have been tragic. Yeah. Because the kid's pretty incredible.
But I'm surprised he took the Garcia fight, his first fight back though, so hats off to him for taking that as well.
Seriously, I was going to say the same thing. Tip the hat.
Garcia, he's not the elite. He's not a bum. I wouldn't call him a bum.
I'd call him like you know who you compare him to? A cowboy. He's a gatekeeper. You beat Cowboy, you can enter the big boys. Maybe. Or like an Ally Aquinta. Like if you beat that guy, you're like, oh, alright, it's like a good name on your resume, and you're like, alright, maybe he can fuck with the elite people.
I think Spence and Crawford is just on that next level up.
Yeah,
the
for
difference.
sure.
Even compared to like Brook and all these people, it's the levels ahead of all these people.
Yeah, I just thought of something that I don't have it in the notes, but I've thought about this with it makes me think of this. I've thought about this with Danny Jacobs, and I've thought about this with Danny Garcia, and I'd like to know your opinion. Is it worth for these guys that are in these positions that have had the big fights against the elite guys and come up short? Is it worth? They've made a good amount of money. Is it worth to stick around when you've had 2, 3, 4 chances at the elite guys, and another one's probably not going to come around for Danny Garcia? So is it worthwhile for a guy like that to keep doing this, or do you start looking at other things, build a business outside of boxing?
Is this for Garcia?
Yeah, for guys like Danny Garcia, guys like Danny Jacobs, who have had like 2, 3 shots at elite guys and come up short, but they're not bad fighters.
Well, Garcia's got a few things outside the boxing, hasn't he? I know he's got his barber shop. He's got his
clothing line.
I'm sure, yeah, he's got like merchandise and stuff like that, hasn't he? So
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
I don't know what the others do in the spare time, but
should you just start?
I know Garcia's got a barber shop though.
That's pretty cool.
It's alright, isn't it? It's alright.
Like, you know what I mean though. Put yourself in his shoes. Like you've had your shot at Porter, Thurman, and now Spence. Is he gonna get a shot at Crawford? Probably not. So is it worth to stick around and fight like 4 or 5 tomato cans and hope for something big to come around? Or do you just, you had your go?
How old's Garcia now?
I think in his
30.
early 30s.
Don't know, yeah, it's whatever he thinks next for him, but it happens with loads of them, doesn't it? It's not just him, there's loads of them who are like that.
Yeah.
They'll just never win at that next level.
Yeah.
They'll say to the fans and stuff, I'll come back stronger and all this, but they won't. They'll stay the same up they are, especially if they get into mid-30s. There's not much they can improve on, really, is there?
Not much.
Maybe you can pick up a few things, but your brain's also slowing down.
Yeah, he'll always be that A- class, right below the A+ guys.
He's alright though. It's up to him what he wants to do next.
Yeah. No disrespect to the guy. I mean, he put on a good showing. He dug deep. He landed some heavy shots on Errol in the later rounds. I was like, damn, good for him. But
maybe
like you said though, it's Errol coming back off a car crash. So
yeah. Well, this would have been Garcia's best time to try and beat him. So.
Yeah, true. Because think of like that.
Errol's going to get better. He's going to.
Go ahead.
He's got the rounds under his belt now. He's going to improve his next fight, Errol, and then he'll get back to that level that he was at, and he'll even pick up more because he's a smart lad. You can tell by him. He's not an uneducated lad. So
he's not like a Dubois.
Not even Dubois. He's not even like like a Giovante. He's not like one of those, or a Broner. He's not that type of person.
Yeah, like
he's got his head on straight.
Yeah,
besides the speed and all that shit, but
I think that the Errol that beat like a Mikey Garcia, I don't think he would have been touched by Danny.
No.
He's too good.
No. Well, first fight back, wasn't it? How long was he out for? 2 years, was it? 18 months?
Nearly 2 years, yeah.
Yeah.
And you got to think of that, if it is 18 months, how much of it was actually back training for a world title fight? Because he had to recover.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hats off to Errol, though. In my opinion, best at 147 right now. And one of the best pound-for-pound boxers in the world. Regardless of weight class, that kid is sick.
Yeah, he's top 2 for me.
For sure. We'll stick with boxing. We got some UFC stuff, but we'll jump around. It doesn't have to be by date. After that, we had Anthony Joshua defending what does he have? 3 or 4 of the main titles at heavyweight against Pulev, a guy who's only lost to Klitschko, but I don't really know who else he's at. I mean, he has a win over Chisora from like 3 years ago, but it was not a bad fight. We actually watched that at the same time. It's pretty good.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, was it what did we expect any different? Truthfully, no, not really.
Not really.
We didn't really see the result going any other way. But what's next for Joshua? It's Fury, innit? And does he beat Fury?
No.
Fortunately, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
And not even just Fury. I gotta go back because you've said it a few times, and I gotta give you credit now because now I see it, and I actually texted you right after the fight. Like, you've said that Usyk will beat Anthony Joshua, and in the past I was like, I don't know, dude. I think he's too small. After watching that fight, I think Usyk beats him.
Yeah, I think Usyk causes some problems, to be honest.
Like really a lot of problems.
He's been chasing that fight for years, Usyk.
Yeah.
It's not like he's wanted that recently. He's wanted that for years. So, see, but I don't know what's next because they obviously watching the way it goes now. I'm sure Usyk's the one next in line for Joshua, isn't he? But I don't know.
Yeah, and
I'm sure he is, but
you know what kind of sucks if you're Fury? Joshua came out because I think it's the WBO. The WBO wants him to fight some mandatory that no one's ever heard of. And if you're Fury, this kind of sucks because Joshua said that he'll gladly relinquish the WBO belt in order to avoid that mandatory and set up a bigger fight. And if you're Fury, you want all them belts back that he won off Klitschko.
I know, but it's just one of them. And then I feel like with Tyson's probably only got another 2-3 fights left in him, I think.
Yeah, and he's already had every belt.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. He'll probably get every belt back again and then he'll retire and goes on as one of the greatest of all time.
And after seeing AJ versus Pulev, I think Fury stops him in like 5 rounds.
Well, I said this to you, didn't I? When we spoke about this months ago, I said to you, Fury stops Joshua.
Yeah.
Within 6-7 rounds. I said this to you ages ago.
Yeah, you also told me that Fury was gonna batter Wilder, and I was like, nah.
Well,
this kid's right about all that shit.
Just predict a lot of things and they come true.
But just like watching the Anthony Joshua fight, like he's obviously he's skilled and all that, but I don't know how to explain it. Like, he shuts himself off at certain points. I took a video that I wanted to send you, but I never got around to it. The way he just picture like you throw a load up on a big right straight, and you're like your shoulder goes down, the left shoulder drops and everything. The next shot is a left hook. Like, if you're going to keep the chain of motion, of fluid motion going, your next shot is your left hook. But he, dips hard right, hard left on it with the right hand, and then he just pulls himself back and ends the thing. And then he only throws it, he just headhunts the whole fight. That Pulev fight, he could have stopped that fight when he first stunned him in the 5th round if he was just head, body, body, head. And he's just, sitting there, hook, all to the head. Hitting the forearms, hitting the gloves. And it's like, I don't think he has the IQ in the moment to beat a guy like Fury.
I think if he fights Fury, I think he'll freeze up, to be honest. I think that's what it'll be. That's what it'll be. I think he'll either get caught with a shot that he won't expect, and I don't know, I think he'll just freeze in the moment.
I think he'll freeze in the moment regardless, but imagine if we figure this COVID shit out and you get AJ and Fury in Wembley with 90,000 fucking people.
I know, but when's that going to happen? You're looking on another year or two for that, I think.
What was that?
You're looking on another year or two for that, I think.
Yeah.
Get the stadiums back full. I can't see it happening anytime soon.
And have you ever seen, I already know the answer to this question, but I want you to answer it. Have you ever seen Fury dwarf to a moment?
No.
Never.
Does he?
Never. He's a game day guy.
Well, yeah, you know, imagine his confidence that night going in there. I don't think Joshua will be as confident as Fury is going in there.
Nah. Because let's be honest, Joshua avoided Wilder.
I've said, I think Joshua probably beats Wilder, if I'm honest.
But he never
I
stepped
just don't
up.
see much. I know, but I think if the fight ever does happen, I think Joshua does beat him.
Yeah.
Because as a boxer, Joshua he's a lot better than Wilder.
Yeah, but he's hittable.
Maybe he's not as strong. Maybe he's not as strong power-wise, but
He doesn't hit soft. And another thing I noticed watching the Pulev fight is that since the Andy Ruiz fights, Joshua is more willing to be on the back foot in a bad way. Not like for example, the way Fury can be on the back foot and jab and slide and cut angles and like not be touched. Joshua is almost in like out of fear, is like not willing to come into the pocket like he used to be. He's taking a, you know who he's turning into actually? He's almost reminding me, not as drastically, but he's almost starting to remind me the way that Woodley will put himself up against the cage willingly. Like, Joshua's, like, backing himself up willingly and avoiding, like, big exchanges in the pocket now. Where he used to be just a fucking, like, destroyer. When he fought White when they were young, he just marched White down the whole time and fucking throw bombs on him.
Yeah. Well, I feel like since that Ruiz fight, he's lost something.
Yeah, he's scared.
Something's gone from his arsenal. He's lost something. I don't know if he's scared, but something's gone there. I don't know what's happened with all, because apparently before that Ruiz fight he got knocked out bad, didn't he, in training? Apparently. I don't know if it's true.
Yeah.
But
you know what I think it might be? Is that he found out in that Ruiz fight is that we're going to keep jumping back to Fury, because it's like you can just compare so many things in the heavyweight division to things that Fury has already done. Look at the way that Fury got up from the first fight with Wilder. His legs were there, and his legs were there on a big 6'9" bastard, and those guys are usually like awkward, Bambi-legged if they get hurt.
yeah.
And look at the way that Joshua is one of those guys that when he got hit by Ruiz, it was like he was like electrocuted.
He was still there, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was just out of it.
He was still there for a few rounds as well.
Yeah.
That's an extra 2 rounds.
For sure.
With Fury, when Fury got dropped in that 12th,
he was right.
He actually got up and won the rest of the round.
Yeah, marched
That's
him down.
what's crazy about it. Yeah.
And like I'm saying that, like, so my point is that Joshua knows that he's the type of human being that when he gets stung, he's not gonna be okay for a little, and that's gonna sit in his mind.
Well, I think that fight will happen, and when it all happens and all that, and the fight's finished, we'll speak about it and we'll say, I knew that was going to happen anyway.
I'll call it right now.
Surprised people are so shocked.
I'll call it right now. I called this about Israel versus Costa. I said that Israel versus Costa will be the performance of Israel's career that you always look back on and just say, wow. And when Fury fights Joshua, that will be the one fight that you always look back on and go, wow, that motherfucker was unbeatable on that night. I think he will, seeing AJ fight Pulev, and compared to this new style that Fury's bringing, forward pressure with boxing, I think he's going to completely outclass him and smash him.
Yeah, he will. He'll make it look so easy.
Yeah.
That all these Joshua fans, like big Joshua fans, will be like, wow, like, didn't expect it to be that easy.
Yeah, and undeservingly, I believe that everyone will automatically switch to, Joshua's a bum. And he's not a bum, it's just that Fury's going to be that good on the night that I think he's just going to fucking 2 different classes.
That's just the world it is nowadays, though, no matter what.
Yeah,
no matter what, you always get criticism, so.
And this is a nice segue. Speaking of undeserved criticism, people turning on you right away. In one of the last few UFCs, we had Tony Ferguson coming off his first loss in 12 or 13 fights against Justin Gaethje, getting in there with highly ranked Charles Oliveira, and got absolutely dominated for 3 rounds. pretty much got his arm broken in the first round by an arm bar. Was taken down at will, outstruck, just dominated in every aspect of the fight. And people are already turning around and saying like, Tony should be cut, Tony should retire. And I don't think that's very fair to do to the guy. I've never been the biggest fan or that high on his skill set, but to deny that he's a world-class fighter, that's just dumb.
What is it? I don't know. Tony's a weird one because even though he had that streak, I'm genuinely surprised he didn't get beat because there's so many styles who can beat him.
Yeah.
That's why I'm surprised the way the Gaethje fight went. Everyone was so shocked with Gaethje's performance, but as soon as someone could stand up and have a little bit of, Gaethje's not the best at boxing, but had a little bit of stand up, and there was going to be problems for Tony.
And also had the balls though, because like Anthony Pettis, if you look at their skills on paper and you even heard him in that fight, you would put money on.
Well, he dropped him, didn't he?
Yeah, you heard him a couple times.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have the fucking balls.
I feel like Ally Quinter would be a tough fight for Tony.
Yeah, for sure.
Stylistically.
For sure.
But it's just, I'm surprised his loss. I'm surprised he went on a streak like that, to be honest, especially in the lightweight division, which is packed. But most of his if you looked at like his last 6-7 opponents, even I don't know what Pettis could have stopped him. He really could have.
Yeah, but that goes back to my point that Pettis, like these guys that could have beat him style-wise, they didn't have the fucking balls like Tony do. Tony's a gamer.
Yeah.
As much as like I don't like his style, I don't like his shot selection and all shit like that, the way he moves his head. I mean, you can't deny the guy's not game as fuck.
No, he is. Of course he is.
Yeah, so he's gonna outgame dudes. He's gonna always outgame guys. If you don't got enough balls and all you got is the skills, he's gonna figure out a way to outgame you. He made Anthony Pettis quit on his fucking stool after dropping Tony 2-3 times.
I know, but there was a period where Pettis quit a few times. Do you remember the one with Holloway, was it?
Yeah, and he quit against Poirier. Remember when Poirier was going to mount, and he was like, "Oh, my rib." As soon as Poirier got mount on.
Well, yeah. So Pettis went through a little stage there where he pulled out of a few fights.
Yep. Against Max was for the interim featherweight title, and he curled up in a ball in the third round and just took shots.
But even Nate's a tough fight for Tony. I'm surprised that never happens along the way.
I think
I feel like stylistically Tony. I haven't really looked at his last 15 opponents. Obviously, he'd name a few, but
I got it kind of off the top of my head. He's got Josh Thompson, Eve Edwards, Michael Johnson beat him, Gleison Tebow, who gave Khabib a real tough fight, Kevin Lee, Pettis, Cowboy, fucking couple other people I can't think of off the top of my head.
Cowboy. I expect him to be Cowboy, Kevin Lee. I'm watching that fight as well. And you know what, Kevin was doing all right.
Yeah, and he had
starting
staph.
off. Yeah, and he had staph as well, didn't he? Remember that he had staph infection, didn't he?
Yeah, and he gassed out. So who knows how that would have went? He mounted Tony at the end of the first round, was fucking him up.
Yeah, well, he took him down a few times, didn't he? It wasn't just the once he took him down.
For sure.
But I feel like even Chandler is a tough fight for Tony. Really is.
I don't know
Just
about
see what happens.
Because I feel like to give Tony problems, like you said, and I'm agreeing. Justin doesn't have the greatest boxing, but he has moderate boxing. But he'll throw combinations. He'll just start humming punches at you. I don't feel like Chandler has the fucking the fluid combinations, and he gasses. He gasses in Bellator. So I don't know if that's good against a guy like Tony.
Yeah, but he's not old, he's been in wars as well. People don't forget with him, so he's game to fight. That's what it is with Chandler.
Sure.
He's game. So it's be a dog fight if he fought, but it's still a tough fight for Tony. I don't see Tony, but Tony would walk through him.
Chandler is
Chandler's what?
Chandler's announced to fight who? Fucking Izzy's boy that just fought Dustin Poirier. I can't think of his name.
Dan Hooker.
Yeah. He's scheduled to fight him in like February or March. That's gonna be a pretty interesting fight.
Yeah, might be. Yeah, I think Dan will probably get the job done there. To be honest.
Oh really? You think
Dan's an awkward fighter? Yeah. I think Dan's an awkward fighter. He's I feel like the kicks will be a big difference.
Yeah, he does throw that calf kick mean.
Yeah, I feel like that'll be a massive difference in the fight.
And we've seen Chandler actually got stopped before by kicks. Remember that?
There you go. Then. But I feel like on the feet, can I see Chandler doing much damage to him? He was in there with Poirier, wasn't he? And if I was going off like boxing wise, stand-up wise, I don't think Chandler's close to Poirier stand-up wise.
And you got to give Hooker some credit for the Poirier fight. Like, if there was 30
that's what I'm saying.
seconds in that second round, he probably would have stopped Poirier with strikes.
That's what I'm saying. He was in there with Poirier.
Yeah, scrapping.
So I think he gets the job done. To be honest.
Yeah, that'd be nice to see Hooker get a win, because I feel like he's got a lot of promise, but it's just like it's tough at 155, and I feel like Tony's running into this too. Is that if it was like boxing and Tony lost that way to Justin Gaethje, they'd feed him 3-4 bums before he got Charles Oliveira. But at 155, it's just wolf after wolf after wolf every fucking time out, and that's happening to Hooker.
Yeah, but
and like he's losing.
You have to be the best in the world. That's what you've got to do, haven't you? You've got to beat the best to be the best. So.
Oh, for sure. That's why MMA is honestly way better than boxing. As a fan.
Yeah, but I've said to you for ages, haven't I? Boxing's on its knees now. It really is. That's why it's getting all these YouTubers in. It's getting all these just talking about these stupid fights.
Yeah, for sure.
No one's interested in.
Fucking 60-year-old Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. was the biggest thing this fucking year for boxing. That's sad.
No, but I think that was a special event, that, because not many people have seen Tyson for years, or people just missed them because they were too young to see him. So
yeah, but do you,
one of them. I think that was a good one.
Deservingly though, do you think deservingly, if someone was like, do you want to see fantastic, incredible boxing ability? Isn't it sad that more people more people definitely watched Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr. at 60 years old over Canelo versus Callum Smith? Come on.
I know, but you know the differences with Canelo, yeah, as big as a star he is today, yeah, and if he keeps winning and winning and winning, he'll never be as big as what Mike Tyson is, unfortunately, or Roy Jones, just because it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is, unfortunately.
Because I've actually talked to my girlfriend about this before, and I've always said that if I get big fights and I get in front of the camera, I'm gonna bring that fear aspect back that Mike Tyson brought. Like, a lot of these guys don't sell fights in the correct way. Mike Tyson put fear to you through your fucking TV. Like, you were like, this guy's coming out here to really hurt somebody. It's not about Canelo's not like, he's got like a little voice, can barely speak English, and he's like, I just want to do good. It's like, we don't want to hear that. You're not scaring me with that. Mike Tyson was like, I'll fucking eat your children.
Yeah, well, that's what it is. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why the Tyson event was the biggest of the year.
Yeah.
Because people, they're just that big of stars. It's the same with these Mayweather fights. Mayweather doesn't fight for 3-4 years, come back. Even this Logan fight it's going to do massive numbers.
It's going to do massive numbers.
Yeah, it really will. It'll do very, very big numbers. It wouldn't surprise me if it does more than McGregor Mayweather.
It will.
Imagine. It probably will, I know.
It will. Just off of the young audience that Logan Paul brings, it's like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Plus all the people who are going to want to see him get whooped.
Yeah, the kid's got 24 million subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah, but on his Instagram, he's got like 30 million plus followers.
It's crazy.
I'm pretty sure Logan's got more followers than McGregor. I could be wrong there, but He might be
I would
close.
imagine, just off of the kids that follow him. It's like, think how many fucking little kids there are in the world.
Yeah, obviously, but that's why I'm saying boxing's on its knees now. It's allowing to have these type of fights.
It's so sad, bro.
Yeah, well, some of the greats agree with it, don't they? But Tyson said about it. He thinks it's good for boxing and all this, but I think deep down it's very bad.
Nah, I think that those
and you know what's going to end up happening as well? Obviously, Floyd's going to beat Logan, obviously. I don't even know what Logan's training for.
Yeah.
Pointless. But his brother's apparently fighting out Ben Askren.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he beats Ben Askren.
He's gonna fuck Ben Askren up.
And then he's going to be even louder.
I know.
And it's just...
And the people that don't know anything, back to the kids demographic, those kids are gonna really think that he just beat like a well-rounded MMA fighter. They don't know that Ben Askren can't fucking punch at all. So they're gonna be like, he beat a real fighter.
Like people think like Askren's gonna beat him, but
no.
All you have to do is go and watch Askren versus Damian Maia.
Yeah.
And that'll show you he's not gonna win. Because he couldn't even box Damian Maia on the feet. So
you can inject me with fucking COVID and measles, and I'll roll off the couch right now after a fucking night out, hungover, and I will batter Ben Askren in a boxing match. You could fucking go down to a fucking petrol station and find a normal person to put boxing gloves on, and most of the time those people probably beat up Ben Askren.
Yeah. We've seen him fight, haven't we?
He's a wrestler.
As I explain it. Yeah, he's not the best on the feet, so unfortunately if that fight gets announced.
He makes Ronda look like fucking Israel Adesanya.
Yeah, well, see what happens in it. It's all these fights now, what can you do? It's the way the boxing's going. You need to catch up to UFC.
Yeah, for sure. Let's stick with since we're on boxing, let's just move right along to we had Saul Canelo Alvarez versus Callum Smith, the Liverpool boy, for the 168-pound title. And, I mean, Canelo proved what I've known all along, is that Scousers can't fucking fight. Nah, I'm kidding.
Nah, that's bollocks, isn't it?
Nah, but Canelo beat
it's one of them, though, isn't it?
Boy.
Anyone around that weight, anyone
is getting smashed.
No matter size or reach or whatever, he really is. He's just
He's too good.
He really is. He's just top boxer. Like.
Canelo is honestly like you know I love boxing, so I've dived down like wormhole. I'm fucking a boxing historian. I love boxing. In 160 to 168 pounds, I'll comfortably say that Canelo may beat every legend you can fucking think of. All of them, the Sugar Ray Leonards, the fucking Marvin Haglers. He just might beat the fuck out of all those dudes.
He is a different level, isn't he? But I feel like all this was because he was thrown in there at a young age. At the age of 21, he's already had 45 bouts professionally, so it's because he's been thrown in there at a young age. He's now got to a great age in his career where he's dominating everyone. And does he get beat the rest of his career?
I don't think so.
We generally don't know. It depends how much longer he sticks around.
The saddest part is that people that don't know much aren't praising Canelo for this absolute masterclass, incredible fucking performance, and they're just downplaying his opponent. They're like, I didn't really know this Callum Smith guy. Dude, Callum Smith is a fucking great boxer.
Well, I was saying this to you when I did today. Obviously, Canelo's gone up a few weights to go up to Callum.
Yep.
Callum around his weight, there's not many fighters who beat him. There really isn't. He's tough for a lot of fighters.
100%. I mean, the kid is super skilled, hits fucking hard. He has an 80-inch reach. He's 6'3". And he can box his fucking ass off. And for a tall motherfucker, he can box on the inside.
Yeah, well, it's I think Canelo's just that next level. Well, he's not even that next level. He's the next 10 levels above everybody else.
Yeah, and honestly, if we were doing like awards and like there was like a performance of the year, like category, Canelo's fight against Callum Smith is the one performance of 2020 that seriously made me sit back and go fucking wow, that kid is nasty.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? He's not even asked how big they are or not. He's just
Nah.
He is something else, like.
Did you see he was on he knew that Callum Smith had a good like check left hook, good lead left hook from being gloved up. So all night he's on purposely punching his left bicep and actually tore his bicep and swole his arm up like crazy.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, and Callum said after the fight that like deep into the fight, it swelled up real bad, and Canelo in English pointed at it and said, "Does that hurt?" and then laughed at him, and then kept hitting it.
Just different animal, aren't they?
Yeah.
Different animal, he is. Fair play to him, though, you know what? And Callum just coached them. I should be backing me on, but I knew he wasn't going to have enough to beat Canelo.
Nah.
I just knew anyone around that weight, he's just going to go through them. He really is.
Yeah, and I think you can, say for me, like, come to me, like, I wasn't like a Callum Smith hater before the fight. Like, I've always said, like, the kid's good, you know?
Yeah, he is. He actually is. He's a talented boxer, and he's been known around Liverpool for a few years now.
Yeah.
But he's,
and 100%, he'll be back.
Yeah, well, people don't really, even like, he's a tough fight for Billy Joe. If he fights Chris Eubank Jr., he probably beats Eubank.
He'll fuck him up.
He beats Eubank. So he's not a slop.
And that's his first loss, so he was 27-0, now he's 27-1. And who do you got? There's 3 other champs at 168. You got David Benavidez, Caleb Plant, and Billy Joe Saunders, and you got Canelo, but he just lost to Canelo. But for those other 3 champs, that's a good name for their resume if they want to have some balls and step the fuck up. And those are winnable fights for Callum that could get him a belt back.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel he could beat Billy Joe. He really could.
100%.
I feel like Billy Joe, I think he'll have boxing early on. But I feel like Callum will probably get he'd pummel on him late on.
Yeah.
But then it's an interesting fight to see what happens. Whatever's next for Callum.
And add this too, fucking Callum, skilled, all these things we're listing off. Regardless of being completely outclassed for 12 rounds, fucking hell, is that kid game as fuck and tough as a motherfucker. There were so many opportunities for him to take a knee and find a way out, and no one would have blamed him. He would have sailed off with a fat pocket of cash and chilled the rest of his days. He stuck that shit out for 12 rounds and took his beating like a fucking gangster.
Yeah, he probably picked up a few million, I can imagine.
Oh, 100%.
I think his Liam picked up 2 when he fought him, I think, or 1.5 or something like that. Apparently it was.
And I feel like a kid like Callum, who comes from a deep family of boxing, I feel like he's gonna grow from this, and I feel like they're all gonna surround Callum, and he's gonna improve from this, and I think we're gonna see better days of Callum Smith.
Well, he's still only young, isn't he? How old do you know?
Probably 30.
Callum Smith. Yeah, I was gonna say 29. Is he 29, 30?
Yeah, around that prime age.
Yeah, but I feel like it's one of them that anyone who goes in there can look at Rocky Field. And when that fight got announced, everyone was like, "What's this?" So
yeah, that is though. To be fair, that is a what is this fight? Because Callum Smith you showed me. I didn't even know this happened. Callum Smith knocked out Rocky Field in 1 round, right?
Yeah, stopped him in the first.
Yeah. So like he shouldn't have been in there.
Yeah. But let's see what's next.
What's next for Canelo?
What's next for Canelo? To be honest, whatever he wants to do because he deserves it.
Yeah, for sure. I'll tell you what I don't want to see. for Canelo. I don't want to see the trilogy with Triple G.
I don't think that'll happen, to be honest.
I don't want to see it because he's gonna fuck Triple G up.
I don't know what to see what happens. It's Canelo. He's the face of boxing at the minute, isn't he? So he calls the shots.
Yeah.
Whatever he wants next.
I think.
You know what I'm more impressed with? You know what I'm more impressed with Canelo? Even the fact when he fought Kovalev and he went up that much and he stopped him.
Yeah,
just unbelievable.
Yeah, and not only stopped him.
People don't even realise the difference in size between them two.
Bro.
Like Canelo is a small guy. He's a very, very small guy.
Bro,
and Kovalev.
I fucking make the weight
crazy.
class. I make the weight class that he beat Kovalev in 175 pounds. Canelo started his career at 154. I could never make 154 pounds in my fucking life.
But Kovalev's fought heavier than 175, hasn't he? In his career.
I don't think so. But he's a big
Sure,
fucking
he's been
dude.
A little bit heavy.
I'm not sure.
He is. He's a big guy. I'm sure he has. I'm sure he's fought. I'm sure he's fought over 175 before.
Fucking Callum Smith is a big motherfucker.
Yeah, he is. He's like 6'5", 6'6", is he? I think.
Fucking something big like that.
Maybe.
And I honestly, back to that, I'd like to see Callum Smith go up to 175 from 168. I think he's got the frame to, like, grow.
He likes the height difference, don't he?
Yeah.
It's the same if he fights like Billy Joe. He's a lot taller than Billy Joe.
Yeah.
But,
I think, do you remember when, Eubank Jr. was in that, Eubank Jr., George Groves, and Callum were all in that World Boxing Super
in that
Series?
tournament?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember the fella? Do you remember the fella that Chris Eubank Jr. knocked out, the Russian guy?
I'd have to go back and have a look to be honest.
Yeah, well, like, he's not anything good, but I guess that's Canelo's next opponent for a mandatory. And he's probably gonna go fucking just bash this dude in 2 rounds.
Yeah, that's what it is, isn't it, with boxing? There's that many belts and there's that many rankings, and it's just crazy, isn't it? They just fight all these. Canelo, Callum Smith, good fighter. He'll have this fight, and then his next 2 fights, they'll just be easy fights for him.
Yeah, seriously. That's what it's like. Honestly, you got me thinking of this. Like, I would fucking... If they told me, like, hey, you can only see Canelo fight once, maybe twice a year, but it's going to be against the top guys. It's going to be against David Benavidez, Caleb Plant, Billy Joe. We're going to make all those fights in the next year and a half. But you got to wait. Instead of seeing him fight 2-3 times a year against one good guy and 2 fucking cab drivers that shouldn't be in there with him, I'd take that option.
Yeah. I would as well, but...
What else we got?
Boxing's not the same anymore.
Nah, it's not. It was like... I don't even know, like, the golden age of, like, the 80s middleweights, like fucking Marvin Hagler, Sugar Ray, fucking Tommy Hearns, all that was, like, those dudes were all fighting each other. Roberto Duran coming up from, like, 147 all the way to middleweight and fighting those guys. It's just so different now.
Yeah. It is a lot different.
So we'll go back to the UFC. And we're almost done. So, on the same... I'm not sure, actually, what card it was. But back to the UFC, we had Boston native, what's up, shout out, Rob Font versus Marlon Moraes, the number 1 or number 2 contender at fucking 135. Rob Font coming off a knee injury, a year out of the ring, comes in and steamrolls and knocks out... You alright?
Yeah. No. What do you think is something happened? No.
No, something fell, it sounded like. But, we had Rob Font come in and knock out Marlon Moraes in the first round in super impressive fashion. That's dope.
Yeah, I seen that as well. It was impressed. I thought Moraes was going to win, to be honest. I said that to you, didn't I?
Yeah. Nah, bro.
I said Moraes was going to win to you.
I always back Boston. So, Rob was going to get it done, and he got it done solid. And now we got a serious...
Yeah.
Boston's got a serious chance at a title. And Boston's got another chance at a title, a weight class up. His homeboy, Calvin Kattar, at 145. So we got 2 in the works. Let's get it. But, Marlon
Yeah, but
Moraes,
you want Max to win that one, won't you?
Yeah, sorry, Calvin. I gotta say, OG Max Holloway.
So hold on a sec. So 2-3 minutes ago when he just said, I always back my own, cut that. He doesn't always back his own because he wants Max to win.
Hey, dude, Max Holloway is an exception because that's legit like my OG favorite fighter ever.
We're not getting into it with Max Holloway.
Bro, he's
he needs
fucking...
to get off, he needs to get off Warzone and go get in the gym. That's what he needs to do.
Oh my god, bro. I hope he fucking hears this and comes see you. That's fucked up.
He's on Warzone right now anyway.
Come on, bro. Max is one of the best. Come on.
No, I didn't say he wasn't, but he just needs to take time off it and focus now because he's got a tough fight coming up.
Yeah, I know. It is going to be a tough fight.
Cage is a tough fight for him. And this is what I'm saying. If Max loses this fight, after 3 losses on the... What 4 losses in his last 5, he needs to fucking pick it up.
I know.
He's gone from being one of the most dominant champions on one of the biggest streaks in the company. And he's now on... Yeah, if he loses his next fight, 4 losses in 5. So... Put the fucking Xbox remote down. And, focus.
This guy's
Tell Rush to go to bed early. And, do whatever.
Dude, Rush is the man. Shout out Max, shout out Rush. Love those guys. But fucking... Back to Marlon versus Rob. I feel like I was watching that fight, and I mean, like, I'm not saying Rob Font doesn't have power. He's got power, but it's like Marlon's chin is completely gone because he was getting cracked with jabs, and he was going Bambi leg and like drunk off jabs. So like, there's no... Sorry, Rob Font. There's no way he hits like Deontay Wilder or something because he got stung with like 2 or 3 jabs in a row and literally just like... You know the way Ronda against Amanda, she just went like stiff and stood straight up and was just like all weird on her feet? He literally like did that off like a couple jabs and then just got fucking bombed on by a couple big right hands and put away.
Yeah. Well, I was impressed by it myself.
Yeah, I was impressed. I'm just saying, Marlon's chin is gone.
Yeah, he's not the same as he... I had big hopes for Moraes as well when he beat... Who was it?
Jimmy Rivera?
I'm trying to remember who it was. I don't think it was Rivera.
Aljamain.
Yeah, it might have been the Aljamain fight. It might have been.
Yeah. Well, he head kicked a bunch of dudes to sleep. Oh, and he beat impressively, he beat a Sunset.
I don't know if it was Sunset. I can't remember which one it was, but he was getting vicious knockouts, so I was like, you know what, this lad's going to be championing.
Yeah. What a fall from grace.
The one to beat at the minute. I've said this to you. The one to beat at the minute, who's impressed me the most, is Peter Yan.
Oh, Peter Yan's a fucking easily in my top 5 like favorite fighters.
Yeah, he's good, isn't he? He's just the way he marches people down. He's
just a gamer.
Just absolute, just a rough fighter.
Yeah, animal, and it's very rare that you'll fucking look at like a guy that makes 135 pounds and you're like, that dude's a monster. That dude's a monster.
Yeah, he is. I can't see many fighters beating him, to be honest.
No, I'll tell you right now, I'll be live on the air, and I'll predict right now, no one's touching that belt at 135 for a while.
So I think even if Cejudo comes back,
Nah,
I think he's a tough fight for Cejudo. So yeah, but people know what? You've got to give credit to Cejudo because who he beat.